Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Victoria Skirbo speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. Today is October 24th, 2016. And I'm doing this video in response to my video on Tulsi Gabbard and Hillary Clinton. I did a video, I think it was on the 20th, about what allegedly Hillary Clinton had said about a Democratic candidate that was being groomed by Russia or by the GOP, depending on your source, and then also a Russian asset, Jill Stein. Of course, for those of us who are aware of what the history of Hillary Clinton and the candidates that are running for president, it was pretty obvious to a lot of us that she was talking about Tulsi Gabbard, and I took umbrage of the whole situation, and I did a reading from a very emotionally triggered place, of which, by the way, I said this was a reading done from an emotionally triggered place. I have my issues with what happened. They are my personal issues with what happened. I never like to see women go after women. I think it is a way that men separate us historically. I've done a lot of sort of women's study readings. Mary Daly was one of the first books I read, Gynecology. So if you ever have an opportunity to read that, you can get an idea of where I'm coming out. I've read other feminist books as well. So it always disturbs me when a sister goes after a sister. But I understand that is the way you get ahead in the patriarchal world. It's not about cooperation. It's about competition. I don't think competition works well for women. I think it goes against their natural inclusive nature, or at least goes against the natural inclusive nature of the feminine side. Maybe we can't make it a gender issue, but we can make it an energetic issue. And there are times when moving forward and taking the initiative and attacking is called for, and there are times when stepping back and creating consensus. And it's that balance of that we need to have. So I just want to state that I understand that as well. For those of you who were terribly disappointed and will never listen to me again, that's fine. That's your choice. For those of you who were open but a little bit disturbed by what I had to say, it's a lot easier doing readings on people like Donald Trump because he is the obvious villain in the situation. And how much of a villain is he really? Now, I know, don't go crazy on that as well. Everybody plays their part. Is he what I would consider a good person? No. Do I think he's a great president? No. Is he a transformative figure? Yes. And so for that, we can give him, I guess, credit. Give credit where credit is due. He is definitely, like in the old cartoons when they used to throw a bomb in the middle of the room. It was that little round thing with the, and then the little fuse and everything would go boom. That's Donald Trump. Donald Trump is the bomb that has been thrown into the middle of everything. That being said, the United States is at a point in its evolution where it's having its Pluto return. And so a lot of the Pluto issues come up. And a lot of the Pluto issues have to do with power over dynamics. It has to do with the military-industrial complex or the militaristic energy of the United States. We did come in and take over land that did not belong to us. Actually didn't belong to the Indians either. The Indians felt as though that nobody could really own the land, that we were stewards of the land. We haven't done very well with that either. And then, of course, we brought in the slaves to work the land, to teach those people um, who could do that, who had the initial, I guess, compunction and lack of moral fiber to think that they could actually own somebody else. But that was then, and this is now, and things have changed, and we've evolved, and things have gotten better. And so we evolve, and we move through things. What I would like to do after this little discussion or this little talk that I'm having with you guys is I am going to do a more expanded look at Tulsi Gabbard's chart. I know I've done it already. I've done her numerology and her Kabbalah, and I've also done her chart and how her chart connects with the United States of America. But I've also done some research into some of the more interesting points in her life that we know about, or that I know about, I should say, and what was going on in the heavens at that time to give a perspective. And I've also, the thing about astrology is that you learn through observation and correlation. And so I've learned a lot about astrology by studying her chart and studying what's going on in her chart at this time. And I think it's worth looking at. I don't think, unless something happens to her, which would be awful, that Tulsi is really going anywhere. I don't think that she will be the president, but I don't think it's about that. I think she's here to teach us a lesson, and I'll look into the astrology for that. I will not apologize for my feelings. Those are my feelings. I don't regret putting it out there. I regret that the dialogue between in the comments was as vitriolic as it was. For those ones that were most vitriolic, I did remove you. I removed the comment. I didn't remove necessarily the person. It's easier to talk, as I said, it's easier to talk about somebody who's the obvious villain. But when you get into the more nuanced places, whether I'm right or wrong, it's a harder place to um, it's a harder place to go, and it's a little bit scary. I think all of us, or at least I like to make the world a better place by enlightening things, but sometimes the light shines on things that it is not so great. And perhaps I have a soft spot for Tulsi. I know a lot of people commented that they have that they feel bad things around her, or they look into her eyes and there's a deadness there. That hasn't been my experience. I haven't met her personally. I've just watched her some of her interactions with people, some of her new stuff. Do I agree with uh, the way she goes about things all the time? No. Is there a possibility that she could be um, used unwillingly or against her knowledge? Yes. Is there a way that she could perhaps turn and she might have evil intent? I mean, it's possible. Anything is possible. And so I don't have all the answers. I don't pretend to have all the answers. All I can do is give you, tell you what I see in the situation, and I do say when I have a point of view. Nobody can be a completely um, nobody can be completely balanced. You can't do it. You can't, I don't think. Well, I can't do it. Maybe somebody else can do it, but it's not me. So if I caused you any distress or any more stress than this stressful time has caused you, I am sorry for that. It was not my intention. It was just my intention to say what was in my heart. And that's what I did. Right or wrong, good or bad, that's what it was. So if you want to continue to watch me, that'd be great. If you don't want to watch me anymore, then there are plenty of people out there, good readers that you can watch and get the insight from. So I want to thank Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot for her support through this. This, while I feel that it was the right thing to do, it has not been an easy thing to work through. And the one thing I can say is when you buck the system, um, I have more respect for those who buck the system now, because in my little, very small, very, very small world here, it was challenging to hear what people had to say. You never really, you try not to take things personally, but it's hard. And I try to put my heart out there. And when you get attacked for putting your heart out there, it can be painful. But I've learned, I've learned some things, hopefully. And hopefully, I don't know, hopefully we've all learned some things about ourselves, things perhaps we didn't know about ourselves and other people. And this is really about shining light. And shining light sometimes brings up the darker stuff. And that's okay, because if you can't see it, you can't heal it. If you can't feel it, you can't heal it. And that's really what I'm trying to do. And for those of you asking, doctor, question mark, um, I've been a practicing chiropractor for 32 years. Actually, I'm sort of retired now, but I've been a doctor. I got my doctorate in 1987, and I've been in private practice for years, until recently when I went into semi-retirement. So you know what my background is, and I've been studying metaphysics for 30 years. I have been studying astrology for that time, and I've been studying Kabbalah for about 20 years. So, and numerology. So that's my story. I hope to see you again. If not, have a great life. We are in all this. We're in this together. I do feel as though we're going to make it through to the other side, and the light will shine. And I hope the light shines on all of you with light and love and divine protection. I'll see you soon with my evaluation of the astrology of Tulsi Gabbard and what's going on now. Okay, take care. Bye.